Trainers, welcome back to the channel. A very special video because our third legendary bird has landed. This video is brought to you by our friends over at Jazwares. Moltres is here and I couldn't be more excited. Trainers, this is Series 3 Pokemon Select Articulated Figures by Jazwares. In box, Moltres looks fantastic. Eyes printed on. The wingspan looks impressive. It should be longer than Articuno, and it definitely does seem that way. We have a nice glossy illustration of Moltres on the bottom right-hand corner. This is Series 3. Rest of the figures released in this line. Moltres is the only new figure, so they are re-releasing Greninja, Rayquaza, and Lucario. So something they've already done with Series 2. They brought Charizard back for that wave. So would have liked to have seen a few more characters, but maybe we'll get some more in Series 4. Like the rest of the figures, Moltres will be hitting Target stores. Price point should be $21.99. Here is the barcode. Screenshot this, show it to your nice Target employee, and they will help you find your third legendary bird. Like the rest of the figures, it comes with a multi-articulated stand. Two pieces connect the top, take the bottom pin, place it at the base of the stand, and voila, we can prop Moltres up. The pinhole is in the back of Moltres. Connect the two, and you are ready to display. Here's Moltres out of the packaging. We actually took our first real look at this legendary bird at San Diego Comic-Con. The Jazwares booth had all three of them displayed, as well as some of their environmental figures coming out soon. The corduroy plush, translucent figures, and Squishmallows Pokemon. Those were all displayed at Comic-Con, but now I have this bird in my hands, and I couldn't be more excited. Here we'll take a closer look at the head sculpt from Moltres. You can see that nice fiery plumage. The eyes are printed on. Beak is non-articulated, but there is some paint applications on the inside. You can see they kept the trend going with the multiple joints at the neck, so we can get some great posability from that. Here's a close-up of the eyes. They look nice and symmetrical as far as placement goes. One doesn't seem higher than the other. I would say their placement looks pretty good. These wings were designed really well. They did a great job sculpting these bottom pieces to actually make it look like flames. There's a pin joint separating the two halves, which we've seen with Articuno. And then moving down to the body of Moltres, we have a hinge joint that leads into a ball and socket. The tail feathers, or the tail flame, looks really good. I like that sculpt on there. They kept the trend with these articulated talons. And well, the back looks just as attractive as the front does. I would say Moltres is probably my favorite legendary bird. It's definitely the one that I chose in Pokemon Go. So now we'll move into the articulation. It looks like the head and neck has about 4 joints. We have a hinge, a swivel hinge, and then a ball joint. So with this first hinge, we can move the neck down that far, and then moving back up into a more forward, straight up position. And then again, it is on a swivel, so we can spin this all the way around. The second hinge, we can move the head down about that far, so it looks like a good 90-degree angle. And then we can move the bottom hinge on top of that, doing a lot of flexion. And with the head as a ball joint, we can take this and spin it all the way around. So if we want a Moltres to look ahead, this is as straight as we can get the head and neck. However, if you take this swivel, spin that there, and then take the head and turn that all the way around, we can get an even straighter flight path, and that looks actually a lot better. These wings are impressive, as we know. We have a pin joint separating these two, so we can actually take the wings and flex them forward. And then we can also move them back just a little bit. There's not a whole lot of give right here. And then here, connecting the body to the wing, we have a hinge joint, so we can move that wing straight across. We can even go backwards. And then from there, we have a ball joint, so we can actually take this wing and spin it all different ways and get a lot of crazy poses and articulation out of this. While we're here at the wings, let's take a look at the length. So from tip to tip, we are, it looks like, about 13.5 inches, which is great. Definitely a lot longer than Articuno. And we'll measure Articuno back to back just to show you. So from tip here to tip there, looks like at 12 inches, so a foot long. From the legs down, it looks like we have about 9 points of articulation. So starting at the top of the thigh, we have a hinge and a swivel. So the hinge, we can move that up. Swivel, we can spin this all the way around. Moving on down a little bit, we have a swivel as well as a joint here, so we can flex the leg forward. And then again, individual claws, we can actually flex the ankle, and then these talons all individually move as well. The last point of articulation is going to be the tail flame. It's on a ball and socket, so we can spin this, and then we have some movements in different directions as well. At last, trainers, we have the trio in the collection. Super excited about this. Ever since I saw the release of Articuno, I just could not wait to get the rest of the birds. And now we have them, and they are going to display so well. There is some serious wingspan on this table. I had to move my tripod back pretty far to get all three in camera view. One of my favorite things about this is I'm an avid Pokemon Go player, so you can actually have whatever team bird you're on in your collection, and I think that's so cool. I think that's going to really hype up a lot of the Pokemon Go community. So the only drawback is that these figures are not going to be in scale with each other. So Zapdos rings in at 5'3", Articuno 5'7", and Moltres 6'7", but the team at Jazwares has already addressed that this isn't supposed to be an in-world, in-scale figure line. This is supposed to be a 6-inch figure line, and they're going to base it around that, which I'm okay with, because if we continue to get articulated Pokemon and legendaries, then I think that is a huge win for the Pokemon community. I mean, look what they've been able to do within a year's amount of time. I mean, we have Charizard, Lucario, Greninja, the 3 legendary birds, and Rayquaza, which this is just insane to me. One of the things that I would love to see down the line would be the legendary beasts. I'm a big Suicune fan, so if we can get that, that would be an absolute dream. But let me know your thoughts. What are some Pokemon you would like to see made into a figure form? Okay, my final thoughts on Moltres. $21.99 is the price point, which I still think is really affordable considering how much articulation and figure you're actually getting. The sculpt is amazing and the articulation is fantastic. One of the things that I love and appreciate the most about this Pokemon Select figure line is how hard they hit the ground running with legendaries right out the gate. Also, to think that we started with Tomy figures back in the day and now we have articulated legendary Pokemon, it's just a collector's dream. So if you see it in stores, I highly recommend that you grab it, especially if you have the other two. You might as well complete the trio. I don't have any real issues with the figure itself. I think it's a phenomenal piece. It's probably my favorite out of the 3 birds. I'm already a Moltres fan as it is, but Zapdos is a close second. If Articuno had obviously the neck articulation, it would have been right there and they would have been pretty much equal, but I like Moltres. I'm kind of more of a fire type in that realm, but Zapdos is great too. But anyways, the only issues that I have is that I wish there was more Pokemon in Series 3. Moltres is the only new one, so hoping to see, a whole new wave of figures in Series 4. And let's just keep this Poke Train going. Overall, I really love this line. I'm excited about it. It's the first time we're getting articulated Pokemon figures and legendaries at that. And since this is such a new line, there's going to be some kinks that need to be ironed out, but they've done a great job at addressing those. And one of the things that I would love to see, and of course I'm sure everybody else feels the same way, is shiny Pokemon. That's something that I feel like this line can execute really well. I don't know if I would like to see it as chase pieces, just because I know the nature of flippers and scalpers out there, and if there's a shiny Charizard that's like 1 out of 5,000, people want that figure, and you have like the card sharks out there that will be hunting for stuff like that. So if they do end up doing shiny Pokemon, I would love it to be just a standard release and not like a chase piece or anything like that, just to make it accessible for everybody and not just a scalper's goldmine type of thing. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My name is Nostalgic Adam, all one word, where I do toy photography, toy videos, toy hunts, and all things toy related. Be sure to like and subscribe. It is free, and I will see y'all in the next video.